Hello guys and welcome to GEEKAMANIA. Today we are discussing our top 3 films of 2013.
It's 2014, you guys!
2014!
2014.
Not 15.
It's a little bit late into the new year, but we thought we'd do it anyway.
Hey, we had Christmas and stuff to do. Except for Mark. Because he's a Jew, but he still celebrates Christmas.
Because Christmas is awesome.
Everyone can celebrate
I
Christmas.
mean, how can you argue with that, really?
All the Jewish fans just killed themselves.
We have fans.
Okay, fan.
Okay, right, so top 3 films of the 2013 in the 2014 we are now in. So, who wants to start us off with their third best film?
Me.
Oh, Michael.
Michael straight in there.
Yeah.
What is your third
Well,
best film?
Best probably Kick-Ass 2. Because it kicked ass. I think I liked it because it was the second one of the film that I liked first.
That's really interesting, Michael.
Michael liked it because it was a sequel.
And sequels are always good.
That's why I like Spider-Man 3.
The best of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I liked it. Because
Sounds like John Lennon there, Mikey.
it had...
Mikey, why'd you like
I
it?
liked it because Jim Carrey was in it.
Jim Carrey was good in it.
Kick-Ass was in it.
Yeah,
Motherfucker was in it.
yeah,
And Kick-Ass had his batons.
yeah. He has his batons.
And it was like Avengers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. It was just sick.
That's just the reason.
In hindsight, I don't think it was as good as my earlier review said. It's like a 2.5-star film, not a 4.
What? Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
I liked it.
The more I think about it, the worse it gets.
That's what I think about films, everyone has opinions.
Mark!
My third film would be Abraham Lincoln.
Vampire
Vampire
Hunter!
Hunter!
Ah! Did you see that bit where Lincoln was on the train and he was fighting the vampires with his axe? It was best of holy
silver
water.
in his axe and cutting up the vampire.
Wow.
Such a good film, Mark. Such a good choice.
Solid choice, man. Yeah.
The film which stars Daniel Day-Lewis is Abraham Lincoln.
Vampire
Yeah,
Hunter.
Vampire Hunter.
Yep.
Even though it's one of those films where you know what's going to happen at the end where he
Yep, he's gonna
abolishes
kill
slavery.
He's
vampires.
going to kill vampires.
Abolish
It's
slavery.
still very good because it's the acting of Daniel Lewis is fantastic in the film and
Yeah.
just the whole story of how it happens and he actually does succeed and he does abolish slavery. You feel very, very like, oh my god, yes, he's finally did it.
Yeah.
And he killed them vampires.
He killed them vampires
He killed all his
and
vampires.
freed the slaves.
And
And his axe was a shotgun as well.
There was.
Yeah.
And as a testament to Daniel Day-Lewis's amazing acting commitment, he spent a year living with vampires just to get into the role.
Yeah, he actually killed a few as well.
Yeah.
Like,
And also as well when he was on set he wanted everyone to call him Sir President, so because he's such a
Sir President.
do you mean Mr. President?
yeah, Mr. President. He wanted everyone to call him Mr. President because he's such a
Sir President!
a
And that's
muppet
why Mark
actor
was kicked off of the set, because he kept on calling Daniel Day-Lewis Sir President, and he
He was like, this is bullshit!
And he swore as Lincoln. Lincoln doesn't swear. That's crazy.
He does. He goes, fucking vampires.
Oh, that's true. Kier, what was your
Yes.
number 3?
My number 3 would be Monsters University.
Hey, the Pixar's.
Pixar, the prequel to the Monsters Inc.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because it's just so good.
It's pretty good.
It's so good and it's got a lovely message behind it and it's so well done.
That extended scene where they're in this human world, really
Yeah.
good.
When they have
Scary
the whole
shit.
and then they
Emotional shit.
The emotional heart to heart that they have. And just when somebody says that he feels like a failure as well, just like, oh, I want to hug you both.
Feels.
Feels.
But who doesn't want to hug Sully? I mean, look at him.
I know.
This is the
I'm not sure I agree with Michael's idea for Monsters University, that they should have showed the conception of Boo. But
I never said that.
Well, no, when I walked, I'll give that a little bit of context. When I walked out of that film, I said that film was missing something. It felt like it was missing something, and I realised that was Boo. And then Michael said, like, yeah, they should have showed, like, Boo, like, being conceived.
That's what I love this man.
I don't remember saying that.
On that note,
on that note, yeah.
my number 3 was The Way, Way Back, which is...
The way back.
It's a lovely independent film.
Away, we're back.
It's not the film.
It was way good.
It's a lovely independent film about a guy who goes on summer vacation with his arsehole dad, played by Steve Carell. By the way, Steve Carell plays arsehole amazingly well. He's not comedic in that film at all. He's just detestable. It's wonderful.
I love it when I hate them.
I love it when I just find someone who can play hatred so well. But yeah, like it's just a little independent film about him going on a summer holiday with a stepdad that he hates, and him getting a little summer job at a water park. And the villain from Iron Man 2, I've forgotten his name. Not Whiplash. Douchebag corporate guy. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's really good.
I should know that.
Yeah, you probably right up your street.
Sam
Rockwell. Sam Rockwell is stunning in it. He's brilliant, and I just love that film because it's just a lovely, feel-good film about a kid who's awkward and holidays. Because that holds no relation to me.
Oh,
there won't be a running theme in this top 3 for me. Michael.
Mikey.
My number 2 was Rush. The film that was about the Formula 1 legends, Niki Lauda and James Hunt. It was good because the racing was really well done, and the graphics, the camera angles were good, like how they shot the racing and how it was done.
The cinematography, beautiful.
Cinematography, and it just felt like I didn't actually know about the legendary story before, but it felt like I was there, and it felt like a film I hadn't seen before, which I hadn't, but it's the way it was done that I hadn't seen, and it was brilliant.
It's just a really inspiring story. What I really liked about it is that they didn't portray either guy as a bad guy. They just kind of give you the information and let you interpret it as you want it. Like, there's no bias at all.
It to be as well. There was no point where I thought, I hope this doesn't end, and then it ends, or I hope this doesn't drag, and then it drags. It was just perfectly timed and everything.
Well, it's one of those rare sports films. I mean, like, you look at the likes of Rocky, and you have like the plucky guy from Middle America is gonna push his way up, and then you have the intimidating giant Russian who is clearly evil for no good reason, who will crush the purely American. You have that.
And then again, it was made during the Cold War, so it was very much. Like
yeah,
America
I know,
Russia.
but like they most
he killed
sports.
Apollo Creed, for God's sake. He's the villain. He called Apollo Creed, and he went.
Exactly. Like, who the fuck in boxing has ever killed like the fucking? Like, that doesn't happen. That's ridiculous. But this film just plays it right down the middle, and I really respect it for that. Like, no one is portrayed as a bad guy, and they're both portrayed as assholes in different respects, really.
It's because they're competing for the championship.
Yeah, it's really good.
And they both have a point in the film where they've got to start from, like, they haven't failed necessarily, but they've got to start from the bottom where they haven't done as well as they wanted, and then they've got to so it's about getting the championship, and they're both working towards it. And it shows how they both work towards it to get to the championship, like from each side, and you can feel the motivation and triumph that they have.
My number 2.
I'm sorry, man.
My number 2 would be same with Mikey, Rush. It's one of those films, probably the same as Michael just said. It's also one of those films that I honestly can't stand F1. I watched it a few times, found it really boring, but it's one of those films that actually made F1 for me really exciting, and really like pumped up. And even though I kind of knew the result in the end, it's still a really interesting film. It's still, as Ben said, it's still one of those films you can decide. At 1 minute I didn't really like Niki Lauda, then a minute I kind of started to like a bit more. You understood why he's like like he is. And James Hunt, at first you feel like a bit of a prick, then you kind of understand why he wants to win this, and just the story of it, which is very, very well done.
It's amazing how exciting Formula 1 gets when you edit out like 90 laps.
Yes,
race.
it really does. It really, really does.
Because when you think about it, F1's usually just like, oh, and he's going around another time. Oh, he's taken that corner a tiny bit bad. But when you just reduce it to a few key moments of each race, it becomes really exciting for some reason.
Unless you're there, in which case it's boom, and then 90 minutes later, boom.
Oh, that guy was in front of that guy.
Wow!
Whoa, wonder what happened there.
If only we were watching on the telly. Then we might know.
Yeah, you're number 2.
My number 2 would probably be the easy one, which is the Thor Dark World.
For Dark Worlds, 4-2.
Thor 2.
4 harder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because apart from the fact it had Chris Evans in it, who I love as an actor, I just thought it was a nice coming out of the Avengers. It was a nice way to bring it in, and all of the actors did fantastically well in it. And I loved the cameo of Captain America, which was
that
just
brief cameo was beautiful.
That was hilarious. I love that cameo as well. Brilliant.
Basically, any scene that had Loki in that film was just gold.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the only regret I have about that film is, well, no, two. One, Christopher Eccleston wasn't used enough. Two,
Yes.
Loki wasn't used enough. He was used way more than Eccleston, but the whole film should have just been a buddy comedy between Loki and Thor trying
That
to
would've
solve
been
crimes.
awesome.
That's what I want.
I just call
Now
it
let's
Loki
see who
and
you
Thor.
really are, Malekith.
Yeah.
It's the janitor.
Come on for you messy Asgards.
And then, and then at the end of every episode, Loki fakes his death and teases something different. It's like, and now I'm king of Asgard, and now I have the Power Stone, and now I'm a puppy.
That's the other thing as well, actually. Yeah, that kind of, even though it's Loki, and you know, like when they spoiler when he's dead and he's killed, even though you go, well, it's Loki, he's not dead.
No.
It still makes you go, no,
Yeah, definitely.
Tom, why?
Head off Tom Hiddleston. I love that man.
But yeah, it was a good film. Solid
Yeah.
film.
I thought he was dead.
I did well actually. But
Well, my number 2 is At World's End. Surprise! Ben
Dun, dun,
Upton
dun.
likes an Edgar Wright film? What?
no, that's The World's End.
Oh, The World's End.
You're
Yeah.
thinking of At the World's End, the other one with Seth Rogen and all that lot.
No,
No.
you're thinking of This Is the End.
Yeah, that's good.
Bam! But yeah, no, At World's End. I really, really like Edgar Wright, and I really like this film as a closing to a trilogy that has followed through most of my teenage through adult life. And you have, again, guess what? It's another thing that I feel quite related to, because it's a tale about maturing.
Yeah.
Very much so, and just a tale of how, like, you know, childhood lost, and just, you know, your hometown. It's a great comedy, and it's got great emotion. Martin Freeman's great in it. And
They're
Simon
all great.
Pegg's fucking amazing in it. It's his best role, easily.
Definitely.
That is the best acting Simon Pegg has ever done.
And I love the fact as well, it kind of switched around the roles. Like, for example, Simon Pegg was kind of like the out person, drunk, and this one had Nick Frost as a really smart one. It's usually the other two.
Yeah,
the other way
it was a
around.
good role reversal, and I really like Act 3 of this film. Like,
Yeah.
this had a great Act 3, and just the pacing and the classic Edgar Wright editing and the witty screenwriting, and it's all just
Had I not
beautiful.
had my number one, that would have been my number one.
Yeah,
That would-
yeah.
We got pushed out by,
Got pushed out by a
I
film
think,
that will
your
be
number one.
I don't know what you're talking about. Shall we move on to Michael's number 1?
My number 1 was The Hobbit.
Dun, dun,
Desolation
dun.
of Smaug.
What?
Say what?
Because
Benedict Cumberdragon.
Yeah, totally.
because
Smoog.
did we do a top did we do top films last year? Or the year before last?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I'll probably put The Hobbit for that.
Yeah, you definitely did
It makes
actually.
sense
Yeah.
that I put The Hobbit for this year because it's ongoing.
I wonder what Michael's top film of next year will be.
It won't be not The Hobbit.
Kick-Ass 3?
What?
It'll be The Hobbit. The Desolation of Smaug happened.
So that's what they're calling the third one.
That makes
Finally,
all the sense.
the Desolation of Smaug happens. Now this.
Basically, the reason I liked it was because
And now it's something completely
Obviously.
different.
last year it was The Hobbit and it's still going on, so I'm going to pick this. And it was an HFR, so that gives it an extra point. And it's, I don't know, I just loved it. It was brilliant.
I can hear Ben Hawke stabbing you in the eye from here.
He's not a fan.
No.
Admittedly, the first part of The Hobbit was better because it seemed to have more detail and more Lord of the Rings characters. But
No, it had less.
It had less,
No,
man.
no, the
Didn't
first
have
one-
Legolas just suddenly storming
The first
in and
one,
being
yeah.
like, I'm a main character now, guys.
Deal with
the first
it.
one I had Elrond, Sauron.
Yeah, but they were all just cameos, not like Legolas being a main plot point.
Yeah,
Flip,
it wasn't that necessary to have Legolas in it because obviously he wrote the book, so and he didn't seem very much like Legolas because in the Lord of the Rings he's a bit more like modest and humble, and in this one he's just
He's an arsehole prince because his dad's
Yeah.
an arsehole. And he's an
maybe he gets
arsehole by
humbled through
proxy.
the extra years. He might get humbled in the.
Well, no, you know the character arc already. Is the third film, a dwarf is going to save his life, and then he's going to realize, oh, maybe these dwarfs aren't so bad, and these humans are pretty decent too. And this Hobbit guy is so cool, I guess. I wouldn't mind hanging out with these guys again.
What about the cinematography and that sort of thing, Mike?
Yeah, Toriel, she was good.
Tariel.
Tariel, yeah. The girl,
Keeping the theme
girl
of the
elf.
Hobbit fucking up pronunciations.
and
That's fine. I
Like-
them all the
Like
time.
Smaug.
Gandalf
Smaug.
was wicked. Because there's a scene where he's in Dol Guldur and he's fighting the Necromancer, and you get Seal. And
There's a scene where
You
he
get-
was Dumbledore, did you say?
yeah, he's Dumbledore. He killed him from behind Snape's shoulder.
Stop fucking next to that tree, you goddamn kids!
Yeah, you can probably guess who the Necromancer is, and it all gets revealed in the second one where Gandalf's like, "Oh my God, you're who I thought you were."
Aragorn!
Yeah. And then it's fucking good.
Well, you can put that on your poster. The Hobbit 2, Desolation of Smaug. It's fucking good. Michael Blake, GEEKAMANIA.
Smaug the dragon was wicked because he's voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch, and the way they did his voice was pretty awesome. And the dragon is pretty impressive the way they made him look, and it's just I'm speechless about it. It's good.
Shame about the ending. Kind of ends on a bum note. It's just like, I am death. Ed Sheeran!
I like the fight scene as well.
I am fire.
What's the dwarf called that's got the beard that's like...
A lot of dwarves have beards in that film.
Is it James Nesbitt's bit? James Nesbitt one, is that the one, or are you thinking of someone else?
It's the guy that's ginger, and he's got like a plaited beard.
You mean Gloin?
That might be it.
You mean Gimli's dad?
No, the other
No.
one. He's got a bald patch on his head.
Botha?
That might be it. And he does a cool fight scene where he's in a barrel and he's like killing all the orcs. That bit's good as well.
Okay, Mark, you're number one.
My number one is Star Trek Into Darkness. As someone who doesn't really like Star Trek that much, it's a really, really good film. For me, Benedict Cumberbatch is my favourite thing about the film because I'm honestly a Cumberbatch. I'm a Cumberbatch as well, dudes. No? He's a Cumberbatch like I am. Benedict Cumberbatch is amazing, dude, you know?
He's in too many movies.
Yeah, that's why it just shows how good of an actor he is. Yes. And yeah, it was a really good film. I really liked it. Because I'm not really much of a Star Trek fan, so I liked it more than Ben did, apparently. Yes.
Why didn't they go into the darkness? They didn't go into the darkness.
They didn't know. But it kind of...
There wasn't any dark bits. Was there, Ben?
I thought the acting was really good. Cole Evans was fantastic. Simon Pegg for me as Scotty was hilarious. I loved every minute he was in. But Captain Kirk was alright, but for me, Ben Cumberbatch is the thing that steals the film for me. I love it when he goes, "I will walk over your cold corpse." I love the way he pronounces everything.
And then he went, "These people need to know."
Benedict Cumberbatch.
I think Ben's annoyed because it was meant to be his top.
Yeah, well, Ben's annoyed because I stole his top one. That's why he's annoyed, because I took his number one. Kier.
I'm not coming back.
Well, that's okay, because I know Kier's number one anyway.
We can do it as a joint number one.
Yeah. So, after the Benedict Cumberbatch fan
Wank
club
fest.
over there,
I'm
Let's-
proud of being a Cumberbatch.
let's come over to the side of actual acting. The
Yeah.
James McAvoy fan club over here.
Woo!
Filth! Was so good.
Such a good film.
Ah, the
Easily.
feels, the
Such
laughs,
film.
I haven't seen it.
You're right.
the pretty cinematography and the dumbness. It's so much better than Star Trek Into fucking Darkness.
But I think the Darkness are awesome.
No, it's
No!
not.
It is.
It's really not.
It's
Great
mediocre as fuck.
So much lens flare.
Oh.
I like the lens flare. It kind of adds to the atmosphere of the film. And
No,
Nicolas
it
Cage-
doesn't.
It's because
Nicolas
it's
is
a
amazing.
bright future, Kier. Don't you get the subtle imagery? The
Nicolas
subtle,
Cage is
blinding
amazing.
imagery.
Can you shove his lens flare up his fucking ass?
But
yes,
yeah.
Phil.
Filth is beautifully acted, beautifully shot, beautifully edited, beautifully written, heart-wrenching, hilarious. I cannot recommend it enough.
Best film of the year by far.
I left that film with such a sense of,
Right.
oh God, why is the world this? And it's disgusting. It's beautiful. It's filth.
It's
I love it. Don't watch it with your mother.
no.
But yeah,
Yeah, it is just. It's also shows sides of James McAvoy I didn't think I'd ever see.
no, James McAvoy acts the fuck out of it.
He does, and that is how he should play all his roles.
Yeah.
That is how he should come back as Professor X in Days of Future Past.
No, I don't think Professor X should ever be anything like that.
How would he insult someone if he came back like that?
No.
Like go, gee, you bitch or something.
Yeah, that's how he's. You're such a bloody tart.
Yeah, that's how the Scottish swear. It's like, oh, you trouts, you fisticuffs at dawn, you scatwalligan.
She'll know.
She's Scottish, she'll know how to swear.
Yeah,
You
she'll-
racist.
Xenophobe.
Jesus. But yes,
Yeah.
Filth is a stunning piece of art, and Star Trek is a piece of cinema's
Such shit.
swill.
No, it's not, guys. It's amazing. You should definitely
It's
watch
not,
Star
it
Trek
really
Darkness.
isn't.
It is. It's amazing.
But the
For me, it's
first
amazing.
scene of Filth just sets it up so well,
Ah,
and it's just when he's talking over it, and he says Scotland has given us such all these things.
great inventions, the telephone, the just fucking trains, and then
We're look how far we've come, and there's the people in the tracksuits smoking,
yeah,
and then it's just like as
the bagpipes.
yeah,
and
it's just like in truth, I really hate Scotland.
yeah,
Put his feet to hide the bagpipe. It's just so good, sets it all up.
it's wonderful.
It is.
The world needs more filth. But yes,
The world needs more
Do you reckon there'll be a
darkness.
sequel?
no, there
No.
should, there's
There
not
really
really much
can't
room
be.
for it.
Filthy it.
Oh dear. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys.
Yeah.
Um,
We're sorry that you had to hear more about Star Trek Into Fucking Darkness.
I think
But yeah,
Darkness is awesome. If you
That
guys
was
actually
our
don't see
top
it.
3 films of the last year. We look forward to another, hopefully, good year of film.
Hopefully.
Well, it's got Captain America and Guardians of the Galaxy. How bad could it be?
Exactly.
Right. So, as per usual, that's Kier.
That's Mark.
That's Mikey.
And that's Ben.
And that is the Benedict Cumberbatch fan club.
I'm not in the fan club.
See you later, you
I was the fan club. I'm a bitch for the win.
fucks.
Back to you,
Have you seen
fucker.
his tattoo? Show me your tattoo, Kier.
Look at that tattoo.
This is where Mark zooms in.